Hi, this is Darren Drew, D. Drew Guitars again, part 8 with this neck I'm making. But there's many more parts to come to, believe me, it's not an overnight process. So last time I had my fretboard clamped with my new binding on it, and as you can see, I've written down again what I want it to be. I have pencil line drawn on both sides. And this is after I sanded it on my benchtop belt sander. And so what I will do is I will sand it on my drum sander, with it going until I get down to my line. And this white part is like a fence. It will give me a perfect 90-degree corner here, to where this is perfectly 90 degrees as it has to be. And you want to make sure that you have a square to make sure that this is standing up straight up and down, which that helps. Otherwise, it will throw the whole thing off if it's not square. So then I will take this down to this line and I will remove half of the pencil line on both sides. And I use a mechanical pencil for one reason. It's very consistent in the width of the pencil lead that's being shown. That way I can get more of an accurate line mark, and not to mention it's easier to judge how far away from the ruler or the straight edge you need to be when you're making this line, because it all matters very much down to I use millimeters, so down to the very much of a, half of a millimeter easy, that you want to have it perfect. And then because I'm only going to have this at I'm going to have this at 3.5 millimeters back here and 3 millimeters up at this end. So it's going to be, I'm working in that tight of an area of measurement. So then after I get this taken down to take away half of this line on both sides, then I will take it over there to my table saw and have my fence there and sandpaper and keep running it back and forth in this manner, and it will give me a perfectly flat edge for my next piece of binding to go. So I'll sand this back and forth, and it will give me another perfect 90-degree angle right here where I want it. So then I can glue my next piece of binding on. And this is honey locust, which is really hard wood to sand. It's over 220 years old when it was made into a tool. And then ebony, of course, which is really hard to sand. It takes a lot of time. I'll probably spend, easy 2 hours probably sanding it on my drum sander and then on my tabletop of my table saw. Anyway, so I hope that's going to help. Sorry there's so many parts, but this is the only way that I can really do it, because it's a very time-consuming process. And I will show you the next bits of information on the next time. One last thing. Okay, here you can see where the paper that I had down here is still there. That means that this binding here did not get taken all the way down to the bottom of here, in which I hit it with the hammer many times, as you've seen, and yet it still doesn't go down from when you clamp it. And I didn't even clamp it that hard, but yet you can still see I have a very good glued joint here on both sides. It's a very nice tight glue joint, which that's what you want. And then also, as you're working with this, you want to make sure that you keep the height the same from here to here as you're sanding it, taking all the paper off and then sanding this down. You got to keep this really nice and flat also. And you want to keep it straight this way also, because it's very important to keep those started going out correctly now than later, because it's harder later, and you're not going to be able to get your binding done the way you want it to get done. And which it's a time-consuming process. But I like to do this because people will look at my fretboard when this is done and go, that is super badass. And it will be. But I'm just getting started on it basically with the steps. So this will be step 8. and many more to come before the whole neck is completed with frets and ready to install on the guitar. So this is Darren Drew saying thank you for watching. Please subscribe, please like, and I will teach you some more woodworking tips and how to build a guitar neck by hand later. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.